Good day, everyone. This is John Scarborough, just showing you the cows. I just moved them in here about 2 minutes ago. This right here is about a ½ acre. It's actually a pen that was built here, and it connects right there to the working pens over there. So this is just like a little ½ acre holding pen. I'm going to try to get my camera viewed back out here. This would be about the closest to mob grazing that I could come with my current situation without any electric fences. I did just now get one roll of electric fence, and you know, I'm kind of on a budget, so I kind of have to do it a little at a time. And I'm starting to get a little bit of electric fence rolled along the bottom wire. I did a video on that. But this right here, we don't have it set up just how we want yet, but this is a little ½ acre pasture, and I just wanted to talk about it real quick, about running the cows in here. They'll last for about either a half a day, like what I mean by half a day is either 12 hours up to 24 hours, depending on how much forage is in there. You know, I've seen them be in here for 24 hours and do good, and then I've seen them at 12 hours and I'm like, nope, I got to turn them out. You know, so it just depends on the forage. But what I wanted to talk about in here is when I first started grazing my cows on this property, this little spot was nothing but weeds. I mean, there was absolutely no grass at all. I mean, it was this right here, these weeds right here, and I'm not sure what you call those weeds. In fact, I've never even seen them here in Louisiana until after I saw them in here. So I know there's a name for it, but I'm originally from Texas, so I'm not real familiar with all the weeds that are here. Like this one right here, that's a different type of weed, and I see that here all the time, and I've never seen it in Texas, so wasn't real familiar with it. But it's kind of hard to see the grass. There's a lot more out over in there and a lot of it out there, and there's still a lot of weeds, but the grass is dispersed evenly. And then there's a lot of thick spots like this where you can tell it was actually mostly grass, and we had no grass at all in here. So what I was doing was letting the cows in here and letting them, basically mobbing them, letting them eat it and trample down everything that they didn't eat. So with about 30 cows, that ½ acre seemed to be a pretty good spot for them. And I don't know if you can see that cow right there, but letting her in this small area, she don't typically eat weeds. But as soon as I put them in a small tight area like this, all of a sudden she starts eating weeds. And they say that that's because of competition. That they suddenly feel like if they don't eat it, someone else will. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to show this. I mean, there's been some progress here for sure. I mean, right here you can tell that is all grass, and there are a lot of spots out there that looks like that. But we didn't get that until we started forcing the cows in here, like all at one point, and let them graze it down and then hurry up and get them off. Before, what was going on is they would work them in here and they'd have them piled up in here for a couple days, maybe feeding them some feed or hay, and so they'd kill off all their root structure of the perennial grasses. And then when they didn't do that, they'd leave the gate open so they'd come in and out anytime they wanted to. So any grass that was here that survived the mud pit basically got overgrazed is what ended up happening. So that's kind of how all that ended up. But I just kind of wanted to show that and let everybody see what their take is on that, and just look at that, kind of take it for what it is. You know, we're still trying to make everything work the best we can with the budget that we have so far. It does seem to be working well, and the most important thing that I'm seeing is not as much how long you graze them on one place, but it's how long you let it recover. Like, let it recover, like get a full recovery period, 45, 60 days. And I've even seen some places here, as humid as it is here in Louisiana, I've seen some places in 30 days we're ready to go again. So just make sure that it gets that full recovery. And I do find that if I leave them in a place for too long, that I can tell, because I'll start getting my cattle trails back, and then I'll start getting little rings around the trees and stuff. So I find that moving them often is definitely important. And one thing I did find is moving them at least every other day seems to have a dramatic decrease on the fly population. Like, you don't see near as many flies, but there's been a few pastures that I have that are really big pastures, and I didn't have any way of separating them off. And so I'd leave them out there, still not overgrazing, but they still ended up being out there in the pasture for almost a week. And when I did that, I could see a big increase on the amount of flies that they had. So then I'd run them into my smaller pastures, and they wouldn't have near the increase on flies. The flies would start to go away because they wouldn't have near as many flies, and they wouldn't be sleeping in their poop, or like near their poop. And another thing I've heard people talk about, and I think it's true, is the closer they graze to the ground, that's where all the parasites are, is within that 3 to 6 inch range. So that's one thing I definitely do, whether I am forced to graze them in a big area or not. I try to make sure that they're never overgrazing and grazing it down that 6 inch mark, especially not in August, or well, September now, but we're looking at 6 weeks, no rain at all. It's been dry as a bone. So we're trying to make sure that we leave some grass here. So anyway, just wanted to talk about that. Really excited. I know there's still a lot of weeds in here, but definitely excited about the amount of grass that I see coming back. And I'm just glad that there's at least some organic matter here that they can trample in, and maybe we'll see some good production next time. Maybe I can get a follow-up video on what this looks like after it regrows. Of course, after it regrows, it's going to be November, so it may not regrow at all. So anyway, everyone have a good day. Please like this video. I'm trying to grow my channel, and subscribe to my stuff if you like what I'm doing. Thanks, and have a good day.